Syracuse is back! Or was 2018 an aberration? The voice of college football coming your way with more schedule rankings. We're talking Syracuse Orange. We want to remind you that you can help support the channel by grabbing the Amazon link in the description section below. Do your Amazon shopping using that link. You don't have to buy anything in particular or what you see displayed there. It's not going to cost you an extra penny. Just do your regular shopping at Amazon using the link in the description section below. Of course, like the videos, comment, subscribe. Do all those good things. Share the videos as well out in social media. We're talking schedule rankings. So this is one of my pet projects each and every offseason is to take all the schedules among the Power 5 conference teams, add in the major independents, and rank the schedules. In addition to that, I've received a request this offseason to project records. So this is not my final prediction, but right now, this would be my record projection for each and every team. In our last video, we posted North Carolina State with the worst schedule, not just in the ACC, but in the Power 5 involving all the Power 5 conference teams. And we come to the next easiest schedule. Syracuse, coming off 10-3 and 6-2 in the ACC, the number 2 seed in the conference to the national champion Clemson Tigers, and the team, of course, that took Clemson to its most difficult game for the entire season was Syracuse for the second consecutive year. Winning at the Carrier Dome in 2017 and then taking Clemson to the brink until Chase Bryce completed that 4th and 6 play late in the game. All right, Syracuse, again, 10-3, 6-2 with a bowl victory against West Virginia, and depleted West Virginia team at that point. What do they have in store for 2019? All right. Easy win off the bat, taking on Liberty on the road. Syracuse goes to Liberty in game number 1, August 31st. Then they've got Maryland. That's their marquee, in quotes, marquee non-conference game against the Big Ten, and Maryland on the road in College Park. Probably a 50-50 proposition in regards to a win on the road for a Syracuse team that would appear to be slightly better than Maryland right now, but the game's on the road. All right, then they meet the national champions September 14th back at the Carrier Dome after playing them again. Better than anyone over the last 2 years in the ACC. Clemson at home September 14th. Then they conclude their non-conference schedule before October with Western Michigan and Holy Cross at home. So that looks like potentially 3-1, key game at Maryland in regards to bowl position. All right, open date October 5th. Then they dive headfirst in the ACC the rest of the season. But, of course, they've already played Clemson. So it's all downhill in regards to tough opponents from there. The stretch to open the ACC after the Clemson game at the beginning of October is actually a decent stretch of games that's going to challenge this team right out of the gate and tell us if they're going to be as good as they were in 2018. They've got a Thursday night date at NC State on October 10th. Then they go to Pitt, or they play Pitt at home at Florida State and Boston College. So NC State, Pitt, Florida State, Boston College, a fairly difficult 4-game stretch before an open date. All right, then they conclude the season in good shape. They should have some winnable games that they will be a heavy favorite unless things change drastically between now and then toward the end of the season. After a bye, they go to Duke, they go to Louisville, and they take on Wake Forest. So the Pitt game that has traditionally been the last game of the season for Syracuse as kind of designated rivals between the two divisions, that moved earlier in the season. They took on Boston College, who had kind of taken the place of Pitt as that last weekend of the season, rivalry weekend opponent. And now they play Wake Forest on November 30th. I don't know what the ACC is doing there in particular, because you always have North Carolina State on that weekend, Clemson, South Carolina. They don't know what to do with Miami. At times they faced them up against Pitt at times, but they've done away with that game. You've got North Carolina State, and you always had Duke and Wake, Syracuse and Pitt. They tried to match up rivals on that final weekend, but they've kind of torn that to shreds. So it's Syracuse, Wake Forest. So for Syracuse, again, the highlights are Maryland on the road, non-conference. Otherwise, 3 what should be locks as wins a non-conference. So they definitely go 3-1 non-conference, maybe 4-0. The 2 games non-division, very winnable. Pitt at home at Duke. And then, of course, they face the Atlantic Division, which is almost a certain loss against Clemson, although they've played them better than anybody. Florida State, we'll see if they're back. And then a bunch of teams that are right in their category. NC State, Wake, BC, Syracuse. Flip them up in the air over the past couple of years, and you have a bunch of 7 and 5 teams for the most part. But Syracuse has been that one aberration, 4-8 under Dino Babers, 2-6, 2-6 in the ACC, and then bam, 10-3, 6-2 in the ACC. Will they remain a top 15 kind of program? Are they going to revert to 4-8? Are they going to slide somewhere in between? I'm looking at 7-5 right now, 4-4 in the ACC. Clemson's a loss, I would think, at home. And then the rest are just winnable games. They're all winnable. They're all losable. The most certain win, again, unless Ken Satterfield has all sorts of magic in his bag coming from Appalachian State, the big win or the lock of a win, more so than any in the ACC, is, of course, the date at Louisville on November 23rd. Otherwise, just a lot of same teams in the ACC playing each other. That's just what it is. Clemson, maybe Florida State if they come back. North Carolina at the bottom, but we'll see if Mac Brown can lift them. Otherwise, wow, Miami's got the talent to break free, but otherwise, whoo, Boston College, Virginia Tech, Wake Forest, Duke, Pitt, Georgia Tech, Syracuse, all these teams muddled around the 40th best teams, 50th best teams in the country. So Syracuse at 7-5, my projection for 2019, 4-4 in the ACC. Would love to get your record projection for the Orange this year. Leave it down in the comments section, and we will continue with our schedule ranking. Syracuse at number 13 in the ACC, number 65 in the Power 5 structure. My ranking for Syracuse's schedule in 2019. Right here at Mark Rogers TV, the voice of college football. Lock it in, subscribe, help build the channel.